So I'm going to introduce my test rig as it stands that I'm currently using for sonic audio testing. Now what we have here is a Marshall Series 9000 power amp. This thing needs a bit of a recap, I've got to be honest, very honest here, and I'm going to turn it on and you're probably going to hear this thing hum, and when it warms up you're going to hear it hiss, and you might notice I didn't bother with the standby control. Some of you people out there, this is a really interesting point, I may do a little video of it down the line. Standby controls aren't really needed on amps. They can actually cause more problems than they solve. Well, we'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, you can hear that hiss. Hiss and hum, real world, I told you. So we've got this. This is also not great. This is my Crate TDP. I love this tube preamp. It's a little bit harsh, but I've had it for years and it's a good performer. It's going to work as the clean channel. So basically there's the clean and some EQ in front of the Series 9000, which is going through this little 2x10 here, which has Celestion something or another's in it. I can't remember what, I'll have to look up, you guys. And yeah, this forms my basic rig. It's not my best sounding equipment, and that's actually quite important. I don't want to use my best sounding equipment all the time. I will test it on that. I've got some good gear at home as well, but for the design process, this is a really solid middle of ground. It's a slightly noisy, old school tube amp with a fairly inexpensive sort of front end. And if I make my pedals sound great on this, they're gonna sound great on anything. So that's the reasoning here. Now, some of the other tools we have that go with this, and these aren't all functioning, you're going to see me bring them to life over the weeks. Compressors, this little rack EQ I bought. We've got a touch of cheap digital reverb because everyone needs a little bit of ambience. And down here, we've got the board I'm currently working on. Now, I'll explain some of the stuff with this in a minute, and I'll do another video with this in a moment where I give you the first audio tests and let you hear the first sounds of this early on. You'll notice next to it there's an EQ pedal. I have a lot of EQ pedals lying around. The reason for this is during design it's much easier to just drop an EQ somewhere in the circuit, a pre-made EQ that you know what it sounds like, and turn those controls and say, hey, what's this design going to sound like if I had a bit more bass or a bit more treble at this point in the circuit? And what's really important is when you add EQ in between gain stages, it doesn't just change the tone. It's not that simple. It changes the whole way the next stage distorts. Or if you like, imagine that you boost the treble before a clipping stage. What that's going to do is it's not only going to boost the treble, it's going to make the treble elements of your guitar clip sooner than the bass elements. And then if you're really clever, what you do is you bring the treble down afterwards. So you boost it going in, you reduce it going out. So you've actually got a flat EQ, but you've created a distortion that clips the bright parts of the guitar sooner. Simple as that. Or the bass parts or the mid-range. So we use EQ in between circuit segments to control what parts of your tone get clipped rather than merely to shape the tone. How cool is that?